I just can't wait to be king. I can't wait to stop discriminating against racial minorities. So what are we going to be talking about? What are we going to be talking about today, Boris?
Today we're going to be learning 7 tips or strategies on how we can be less racist. Because
good luck with that one.
I just was thinking to myself, wow, I need to be less racist. So I just typed out how can I be less racist, and then I found this website called Very Well Mind.
Very well, mind.
7 strategies to help you on your anti-racism journey. Because remember, it's not enough to just not be racist. You have to be aggressively anti-racist.
It's a journey. It's a skill that you have to learn because, let's face it, you're born with this disability that makes you racist. And you have to, it's a journey.
September 17th, 2020, so it is relatively fresh.
This is pretty new.
Yes.
If you consider 6 months new.
A little self-reflection might reveal some uncomfortable truths, such as ways in which you might be having racist thoughts or exhibiting racist behaviors without even realizing it.
I don't even know how racist I could possibly be.
This self-reflection may also come with feelings of guilt and shame, so it is also important to start with forgiveness.
Boy, if they think, oh boy, we'll see how guilty I feel by the end of this, and how shamed I am. Because right now I feel arrogant, so we'll see where that goes.
Be less arrogant, be less certain, be less oppressive.
We're gonna crank it down. We're gonna take the racism, we're gonna put it down. You got this racism big. Squish it.
Modern day racism exists because of the current circumstances that we were all born into. While we did not have a hand in designing things the way they are, but we do have a hand in helping rectify the situation.
Don't you need a cream for rectifying?
Fortunately, there are steps we can take to embark on an anti-racism journey. Raising your own awareness of any biases and stereotypes can be key to breaking down barriers.
Wow.
The first strategy is acknowledge modern day racism exists. Although some people assume that anti-discrimination laws have eliminated racism from society, studies show that this isn't the case. Ethnic minorities still experience a great deal of prejudice and discrimination. Studies have found that minorities are less likely to receive adequate care from physicians, less likely to receive employment offers, judged more harshly for crimes they commit. I mean, sure. Yeah. I don't know how you measure that.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
You did commit a crime.
Like the officer who's like on duty, he walks in and he's like, man, I just beat 10 black people today. And then the scientist is like, check. And it's like, wow, good work, scientist. I salute you in your thoughtful investigation of this racism.
They are also more likely to be shot by police officers and treated with more suspicion in public places.
It's probably because of articles like this that tell you all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, well, this article said that they're suspicious. It's like, no, they said you might think they're suspicious.
Treated with more suspicion in public places. That's so vague.
Yeah. Have you ever looked at
these are just a few examples.
Have you ever
actually none of those things are examples.
It's like have you ever been like to Aldi's, right? And you look across the aisle and you give it a little side look like, and you think to yourself, boy, that Native American looks suspicious. That's racism.
It sure is.
Because I'm sure everybody's experienced that situation, right?
So it's important to acknowledge that minorities are still facing ongoing discrimination. Recognizing that racism exists is the first step towards creating positive change. The takeaway is listen to the experiences of other people. When you hear other people's situations and stories, be willing to listen with an open mind. So far, I haven't really learned anything.
So far, yeah. Who wrote this? A white person?
Okay. Next is number 2, recognize your prejudice. If you think things like, I'd never do anything racist, you may want to check yourself.
Doesn't your prejudice fall off your belly button a couple weeks or so after you're born?
That's your umbilical cord.
Oh!
Research shows people who claim they're never prejudiced are the most likely to be prejudiced.
That makes sense. It's like that thing where it's like, did you kill this man? Oh, no, I didn't. Well, then it was clearly you. People who deny it are the most prejudiced.
Yeah.
How does that make any sense?
I feel like I thought I knew the definition of prejudice until
Race car drivers are likely to say they're good drivers. I wouldn't trust that. People who say they're one thing tend to be the opposite. 9 times out of 10, actually.
Yeah. Participants were asked to report how egalitarian they believed they were compared with other people in regard to race. Then they stated how favorable they felt about black people in the workplace. Finally, participants completed the implicit association test to measure their implicit biases related to race. Researchers found that those who reported being the most egalitarian displayed the most implicit bias toward black people. Other studies have uncovered similar results. People in privileged groups are more likely to deny the existence of bias. And among young people, there's an impression that racism is, quote, not that bad anymore, or that it only occurs in extreme circumstances. Some even believe that prejudice against white people is a more serious cause for concern than prejudice against black people.
We all know they're mad. They're crazy. Like, what does anybody, I mean, come on. Why would there be prejudice against them? Because we all know they're scumbags. If you know a certain race is living scum, that being white people, then clearly we know there's no prejudice against them. These people have never been taken over the knee.
Keep in mind that no one is completely prejudiced or not prejudiced.
Wait, what?
At all.
No one is not prejudiced?
It's no one is completely prejudiced or not prejudiced. It's a continuum, and everyone possesses stereotypes.
No, this is what they should have said. They should have said it's a spectrum.
Oh, yeah. And everyone possesses stereotypes and biases to some degree that affect how they interact with individuals from other races. It is important to remember that our brains are wired to recognize differences, which evolved to protect against the general threats of the world. The biases we have are still running on the same internal system. Okay, number 3, they try to make you take a test to see just how biased you are.
Okay.
And I tried it. They wouldn't let me finish it because I don't have a space bar on my phone.
You should have gotten the space bar attachment.
Learn about yourself. You might think your anti-racism journey should start with learning about others, but developing more self-awareness can be key to helping you gain insight into your beliefs. Derek, do you have self-awareness? Are you aware of what you're doing? What are you doing right now?
I'm learning how racist I am. I hope. Boy, I hope it comes out that I'm racist.
It can make you more aware of your own biases while sparking curiosity about other cultures and races. Once you realize, just yourself or whatever.
Boy, that sure is interesting, Caleb.
Okay.
I'm glad to know I'm racist because the blood that courses through my veins is white and not black.
By learning to accept ourselves more authentically, we can then improve as a society. Another way of learning about yourself is to consider enrolling in individual therapy to explore the issue of bias and racism.
What?
You need to go to therapy.
I need to go to therapy so they can lob off my hands at the wrist and scream in my face that I'm racist. Apparently. That's what I heard.
Learn about other people. Okay. Which is number 5.
Something that they've clearly
read
missed
books,
a step
watch
on.
movies, and review articles that describe other people's experiences, yada, yada, yada. Just learn about other people based on the color of their skin.
Camera died.
It died, and we switched the battery out.
It died, but we resurrected
adult
it.
men.
We did it like adults. I can't wait for them to drain the racism out of my pelvis. They take a needle. We got the racist contained. Quick, inject it into George Soros before it goes stale.
Okay,
Where were we?
Learn about other people. You don't have to stick to just scientific journals and documentaries. You may find many fiction books to give insight into unfamiliar backgrounds too.
Yeah.
Get your news from a variety of sources. Watching the same channel and reading articles from the same website only gives you one view. Learn from many different people and you'll see there are many ways to tell the same story. Wait, what?
Is that their way of being like, if a news story says a white person shot a bunch of people and it turns out it wasn't a white person, that's just a different way to tell the story. It's the same thing though. That's what it sounds like to me. Do they literally just say if a story's told differently, just ignore it? For that
Learn
stuff?
from many different people and you'll see there are many ways to tell the same story.
Well, that's good to know, because I was confused for a bit that maybe, I don't know, it was lying propagandists writing stories. But no,
Okay.
it's just a different way to tell the same story.
Number 6. Interact with people of different races.
Touch them on the head, see how they react.
Yeah.
If they don't twitch too quickly, just kind of rub their face. And if they go like, ah, you should stop. But that's just because of their race.
If they don't, you just...
Yeah, just go like that. And they'll probably thank you if they're a good race. And if they go, hey, they're probably a bad race.
Okay, there's no substitute for first-hand experience. Talking to people who are different from you, working with people of other races, and interacting with them in all sorts of circumstances can help you gain the most insight.
Cool.
You'll learn a lot when you listen to people, but don't ask them to educate you on racism.
Rad.
Asking them to do more work or essentially try to explain their daily experiences places more burden on them. You also may need to purposely get involved in new activities so you can interact with people outside your usual social circle, volunteer, join a club, or attend an event you might not normally attend so you can interact with different people.
That's why I'm an official member of the Black People Club.
Another thing you can do is visit different parts of the United States as well as other countries when permissible. Many organizations also organize and host cultural events and festivals, which is something else you might want to consider.
But just be careful, because if you attend one of those festivals, you'll be called a racist for being a white person at like some other racist festival.
Number 7 is
Cry.
enroll in a course. Whether you sign up for an online course or attend a college class, diversity education can help reduce your bias. A 2001 study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that students who were enrolled in a Prejudice and Conflict seminar showed significantly reduced implicit and explicit anti-black biases compared with the control group. Oh, this is like the most interesting thing I've ever read.
It sounds like a
I'm being
dystopian
educated.
future.
What?
This is literally just like, you're a racist. You're racist. And then the kid's sitting there like, yeah. And then they're like,
But you don't like it because you feel shame.
And they're like, yeah.
The study shows that biases can be changed, even the ones
But only
that seem,
by us iron rod.
even the ones that seem automatic. Learning about your stereotypes can significantly reduce your levels of prejudice.
Wait, what's the white person learning about your stereotypes?
It's being a filthy cracker.
We all know the white person stereotype, right?
I love stereotypes.
Isn't racism like currently all about removing the stereotypes?
A more recent 2012 study,
More recent, 2001.
I guess the first study was in 2001.
Gosh.
This is a 2020
People
thing.
say racism doesn't exist anymore, but our study from 20 years ago clearly says different. Like, I just read a book. It says white people own slaves. What? When? 100 years ago.
Longer than that.
I mean, yeah. But it's still relevant.
2012 study also supports these findings, suggesting that anti-prejudice training and intervention could lead to significant long-term reductions in implicit race bias. Some resources can help reduce racial bias. Okay, here are the resources.
Let's hear it.
That's the last bit. Look around for online courses or contact your local college to see if they offer diversity classes. There is also
sick.
there is also
I think I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna puke.
There has also been a recent. Oh wait, there is also.
What?
There has also been a recent explosion in content designed to educate and inform people about racial issues.
Very
No
cool.
kidding.
So interesting.
Free programs and webinars, available online to the public. There are also a number of independent scholars that have courses available, and local libraries also often have book clubs and programs designed to promote diversity and racial understanding. Ideally, you would take a comprehensive approach rather than just selecting one or two of these offerings. So you don't have to do all 7 of these strategies. You can just pick like a couple and just see how that works out for you. Challenging and actively fighting bias is a psychologically intense and long-term dedication. So the more resources you have to support your efforts, the better.
The racism in this room is stuffy.
Well, Derek, if you're struggling on your journey to becoming anti-racist, you might find it's helpful to speak with a professional. Reach out to a therapist. A licensed mental health professional can assist you in identifying the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors.
This
funny. Last sentence. And behaviors you'd like to change, and may also be able to provide more resources that can help you learn and grow.
But like, imagine actually going to a therapist and being like, "Doc, I think I'm racist."
Go to the therapist.
Man, I should become a therapist. I'll just be like, "Stop being racist! Oh God! Cut it out with the racism! Look how white you are! It's blinding! Ah! Listen up, you racist piece of trash! I'm gonna destroy you! I'm gonna take my knee to your hamstring!" Why are they like with this whole like, go to your therapist, tell him that you're racist? He'll beat you. He'll give you the beatings you need.
Yeah.
He'll pound the racism out of you. He'll lean you against a brick wall and smash your head against it. Like, that's the last thing people currently, I think, need a therapist for. Like, realistically. Like, this guy's like, "Yeah, my life's great. But damn if I'm not racist."
Read next. Is it possible to overcome implicit bias?
No. You could do all the stuff on this list. You won't make it into one of their studies that says you aren't racist. You just won't.
Okay, yeah. So basically, what have we learned?
Learned that I'm a filthy racist. Apparently, I'm not. Well, I should feel shame, right? That's what they said at the start.
Yeah.
To
find it.
I feel ashamed.
I don't. I feel great.
I think you're right. I don't think I actually do feel ashamed. But I should go to a therapist so they can tell me that I'm ashamed.
Are you going to enroll in a college diversity class?
Yes. That'd be a funny video. Me like with a hidden camera, like taking diversity classes and being like, "What if I don't think I'm like totally racist? Like I know I'm racist because, you know, but what if I don't think I'm 100%? And they'll be like, "We'll make you a racist by the end of this. Then we'll fix you."
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I'm gonna say the N-word.
Honestly, the whole 7 strategies thing is such a con artist clickbaity list, because honestly, you probably could have wrapped most of that up in like maybe 2 paragraphs. A lot of it felt like I was repeating myself.
Yeah.
0% of it was useful in like a realistic human
Caleb,
sense.
you would say that. Because if there's one thing I learned from this, is that the first person to deny that they're racist and say they didn't learn anything from this is the racist.
Yeah.
I know you actively discriminate inactively.
Yeah. Okay, so that ends that.
You know
journey.
how? I'm so racist. I took the letter B out of my keyboard. That way I can't spell black because I'm so racist. I'm so racist.
Derek, stop being a filthy.
I'm trying to do what they said. They said I gotta acknowledge just how racist I am, and I'm trying my darndest, and you won't let me because you want me to be racist because you're white scum. You're white milky scum.
So
I'm gonna get my skin dyed black though, so don't worry. This racism will be gone within days. It's time to turn off this camera.